Hello and welcome to the Decibel Boost podcast, the official music podcast of the website Surreal Resolution. I'm your host, Robert, the newest champion of the Alola region. And with me, I have...
I'm Alex, and I'm excited for Between the Berry and Me on October 21st here in Charlotte.
And...
I'm Mark, and is it a rumble just some jumpsuit? Or some form of fucking jumpsuit, I don't know.
Man, I need a jumpsuit. For reasons.
Does it involve science?
No, I just want to dress up as Neon Joe one day.
Hey, you worked both of them in.
Heal! Man, it's so weird we got a second season of that. You didn't think there'd be anywhere for it to go after the first run.
Yeah, they always find a way.
Yeah, plus I suppose John Glazer needs a paycheck.
Don't we all?
Clearly. But, I mean, I'm sure it's
Yeah.
probably gonna be fine. I mean, first episode was okay enough, although fuck Plaid Jeff. That guy's the worst.
Does he wear plaid?
Yeah, fucking Plaid is terrible. It's terrible fashion choice. Ugh. So, episode 35. And, well, usually we start with the formalities, but Alex has wanted to allot himself some time to go off on a rather serious subject, so you have the floor.
Okay, so in the news the past couple days has been the tragic events that happened at an Ariana Grande concert in Manchester, England. As of when we're recording this, we're still waiting for facts to come in, but police in Manchester have come to the conclusion that it was, in fact, a suicide bomber with roughly 22 left dead and about 60 seriously injured. The news like this has happened, way too much recently. Whether it's the news of Manchester, the Pulse nightclub shooting, the events at Le Bataclan in France. It's awful. It's awful. There's nothing that we on the outside can do but offer our condolences and our thoughts and prayers. Then you have these assholes who use things like this to further their own ideological agenda of bigotry, because you know what kind of people I'm talking about. The people who are going, you see, this is why we gotta get these Muslims out of here, and this is why we shouldn't let those refugees come into Europe. Just shut the fuck up, you assholes. People are dead. This was a concert that children went to. Children as young as 12 years old were involved in this and died. So for people like, I'm going to name names, Geraldo Rivera, who are using this event and tragedy to further his own personal agenda because, that's what his corporate bosses want, you're a fucking asshole. I just had to get it off my chest. I'm sorry.
Just the worst.
Yep.
Seriously, I think Kendrick Lamar let Geraldo off way too easy.
Way too fucking
Yep.
easy.
This is why I have my personal rule. You wait at least 3 days before making any kind of definitive judgment call about anything. And, by that time we're probably going to have the people declaring it a false flag, and then driving ratings to InfoWars.
Damn.
Then you have people like our esteemed president going, oh, yeah, he's just a big loser. Yeah, oh, yeah, you sure showed him, Mr. President, you fuckface! You fucking moron!
Yes, ISIS are losers. Coming from the man who, how many votes did he lose the general election by? Like
3 million?
3 million.
Exactly, so I don't think he's in a position to, talk shit about anyone else. Plus, dude, weren't you gonna get rid of ISIS in, your first 100 days? The fuck happened, bro? That was one of your big campaign promises.
Yes, boy. Yeah, it's past 100 days now. Where's it at, bruh? Come on, nigga. Stick the game up, bitch.
Sooner he gets out, the better. God.
Yeah, so we've obviously got a piece out, but we may touch on this again if more news emerges in the next week or so. But let's try and get back into a regular mood. So,
Yeah.
I have a little bit of a story to tell. Okay, so some quick details. This episode is being recorded on a Tuesday. Hashtag only on Tuesdays.
Hoo boy.
See what they did there. Because last night I had my first exam in my current calculus course, which I'm hoping I did okay on, hopefully. And also, the real story here, before that, Saturday was the first show that I played with my current band. And shameless plug here, a death metal project called Amenoria. And I know what you're going to say if you saw the name. I pronounced it wrong the first time, too. I thought it was Amenorrhea.
Oh.
But apparently it's pronounced like Amenoria, like, a menorah. Those things with the candles and stuff on Hanukkah or something. I'm not good with names. Hey, you want to know how? Alex came up with the name for this podcast, not me.
That's true.
So, yeah, we played at this little bar place called Alligator Alley, and the setup was really kind of cramped. Like, I was really, backed up against the wall using the house kit and everything. Plus, the house kit there, surprisingly, despite being kind of cheap, had a Joey Jordison signature snare. Although
I saw that and I immediately cringed when I saw that worn out snare head. Just somebody change it, please.
Yeah, after the sound check, I decided to just use my own because it sounded kind of limp. So that show went all right. Although apparently there were some complications with a couple of people who were trying to grab video of it. Like 2 people grabbed video, one doing it for us specifically. And apparently, because of, how tight the space was, there was so much sound going through that it, blew out the sound on the camera, so that video didn't go through. Although, thankfully, there was one of the guys who is a promoter in the Miami scene, thankfully caught a relatively decent-sounding video of us, so maybe I'll link that in the description of this for your viewing pleasure.
Look at Rob, he's going places here.
Yeah, like the unemployment line.
Damn.
My life's dream is to have an annual salary under $14,000.
Your lights went out.
I'm currently living that dream.
Hey boy. So, yeah, that was my past week and few days. Anything on your end, Mark?
Shit. Let's see. Right now, let's see. Past days? No. Right now, it's thunderstorming as fuck.
Oh.
So yeah, if you hear some you hear some noise from my end, yeah, that's me.
Ah, that's never fun.
Yeah, they're never fun.
Jeez, I mean, I to be fair, I'm probably gonna get that on my end too, because we're just about coming up on June 1st, which is the official start of hurricane season.
Oh boy, oh.
Fun.
The South, you'll get hurricane snails and shit.
I'm suddenly reminded of a Robin Williams stand-up joke about people who live in hurricane areas. Time out. Why do you still live here? We love the view. Get it? Beachfront view?
Yeah, I'm suddenly also thinking of a Gabriel Iglesias joke about living in California compared to anywhere else. It's dude, I think he said something akin to oh, dude, where do you live in California? You have to deal with earthquakes. I'm like, yeah, but it's a nice day. You don't have to deal with tornadoes and shit.
Yeah, I can attest to that. California, you get earthquakes every other day, but, at least it's nice when it's not, pouring down rain, what it has for the past year and a half.
So, let's get back on the topic. I guess, is there anything else anyone wants to say before we dive into this?
Not much.
Alright, so let's jump right into the new song discussion for this week. As always, there will be a playlist down in the description if you want to listen along with us. So, sorry for the top, with a band I haven't thought about since about 2011 or so, Silverstein, who I literally only know because I once saw them open for August Burns Red. This is back around the Leveler tour, that band's 4th album. And so, they came out with a new song this week called Retrograde from a new album called Dead Reflection, due out July 14th. And, I guess this is kind of a reason why I fell out of this kind of music, just because, okay, the song isn't bad or anything, the riffs are solid, they kind of have a little bit of a cool, distorted punch to them, but then you get to the choruses, which are just the typical auto-tune, very pretty, nice sounding, and it's just eh.
Yeah, this was okay by my admittedly loose standards. I sort of got this feeling that they're going for a sound of post-hardcore meets gent, which kind of works for like the guitar riffs, the vocal approach, not so much. It sounds less like Spencer Sotelo and more like the dude from Beartooth, especially with those harsh vocal parts.
Now, remind me, the guy from Beartooth, he was also in the American Attack, right?
Yes, he was.
Ah. Okay, just checking, because it's been a while since I've had to interact with this scene in any capacity, so...
Yeah. Remember, that's how they got big fast. They got big fast, especially because that guy was in Attack.
That's true. Although, yeah, like, I pretty much only remember shit like this because of, guys like Jared Alonge and whatnot. And speaking of Jared Alonge, so we're still waiting for the professional pizza eater of YouTube to come out with his Canadian softball project. But in the meantime, he's debuted a very special surprise. Another new music project that isn't comedy-based? What? I know, right? A clown trying to be serious. Yes, this past Friday, Jared unveiled a new project, a collaboration with a singer named Lauren Babick, I believe. I might be blanking on the name here for a minute. But yeah, this is a band called CrazyEightyEight, stylized with kanji because reasons. Yo,
Kill Bill. That's why. Kill Bill.
That too, but, weeaboo-ness. And they've released a handful of songs, most of them being, covers of bands like My Chemical Romance and shit like that. So that should give you a pretty good metric of where to expect the sound of this to go. But they do have an original song currently out. It's a single from their upcoming EP, No Words Spoken, due out June 2nd, and it's called Tommy's Planet. Now, this is very reminiscent of, like, the mainstream post-hardcore sound that you'd expect from, like, the mid-2000s, or, heck, even the 2010s. Although, to be honest, I think I kind of like this a little more than a lot of those, because in comparison to bands like that, the musicianship is surprisingly tight. Just as a reference point, Jared Alonge plays guitar in this project, which I never knew he was actually, like, a good musician. I thought he was mostly, like, the lyric guy for all his projects and whatnot, and he had other musicians playing, but hey, apparently the guy who knows how to work a guitar pretty good.
Yep. Granted, it's not, the hardest thing in the world to play, heavy post-hardcore riffs. It really isn't.
True, but, like, I think there's certain things in, like, the way he plays that give it just slightly more character than you would expect out of a band like this.
Right, and I'll be honest, with the name Jared Alonge attached to this was not what I was expecting out of him. This project has some pretty strong legs to it, especially on this one song, but the only critique I have is that the breakdown section didn't really mesh all that well with the rest of the song's hook and melody. It just felt disconnected in a way.
Yeah, it's a pretty, like, steady kind of driving song, especially with, like, the surprisingly intricate drum work, which I know it's usually easy to say, like, these drummers are somewhat okay, but whoever is on the kit here really knows their way around that fucking thing. And, of course, Lauren's vocals are just immaculate. But yeah,
absolutely.
That breakdown bit makes it sound like they go from, like, My Chemical Romance to, like, Memphis Mayfire for a bit, and it's like a jarring shift, kinda. But I'll admit, I'm impressed. This is actually kinda credible, and I actually kinda want to hear the EP.
Yeah, me too.
So, now, let's move on to a tempting trifecta of none other than Flying Lotus. Now, we still don't know when he's going to come out with a new album, although it's been like 3 years since You're Dead, so we're long overdue for one at this point.
Yeah, at least that, or another, like, or maybe a Captain Murphy project, or another one like that.
In the meantime, he's still keeping busy. As we mentioned, he recently premiered his debut feature film, Clouseau, which is apparently receiving some kind of wider release this summer. We're not completely sure in what capacity, but I'll be watching it.
Have a barf bag ready.
And in the meantime, he's released 3 new songs. Well, okay, 3 songs and a remix.
They're not exactly new either, although they may be. We don't know the full details regarding the latter 2.
Okay, so just to clarify for a bit, there's this first song here called Night Grows Pale, which, sounds like your typical Flying Lotus track. There's a very lush, kind of nostalgic vibe to it, and it's built out of a really well-used sample of the song White Queen by, Queen. Yeah, it might be kind of hard to tell because, the vocals are very, pitched down and buried, but it really works in, the very dreamy context of the song.
Oh yeah, definitely agree with that. This is a very dreamlike song. I imagine, let's say you fall into this beautiful dream, you hear this coming along. It's you can hear the luscious instrumentals, you can hear the singing, all that. You're wondering, this sounds so delightful. I just want to be in this dream for this long, and then you wake up. It's still good. I mean, the song's still good. It's damn good.
Yeah, so I wonder if this will be some kind of secret indication as to where he's going, or if this is just something he did, for fun, following that remix of the Twin Peaks theme.
Oh yeah. I was that too. That one, all right. That Fox was doing this thing on that.
Yeah, that I still haven't heard yet.
It's just time for that new Twin Peaks show that's on Showtime, which I heard did not get a lot of views this week.
Let's just say about 3 times as many people watched The Last Samurai Jack as they did watch Twin Peaks on Showtime.
Damn.
More people watched American Gods, which, by the way, is a fantastic show. You should all watch it.
I heard there were penises in that one.
There are guys who hang dong, absolutely.
Hoo boy.
Only on Stars.
Yes.
So now, let's move on to these other 2 songs, which, to revisit Alex's point, the titling of these songs suggests that these are more like leftover cuts from You're Dead that didn't quite make the original or even a deluxe version. So, one of these is called You and Your Friends Are Dead. And there's another one called North Star 3. Now, while these are technically different songs, they do have one very key thing in common. Both feature the collaborative efforts of Thundercat and Brendon Small.
Galacticon 2 when, Brendon?
Yes. Galacticon 2 when. Now, these songs are kind of... Okay, I know he's obviously worked with Thundercat in the past and all, but these songs are kind of not what I'd ever expect out of a Flylo track for the most part. I know he technically worked with Brendon and stuff on You're Dead as well, but okay, these songs, they have this very... So let's start with You and Your Friends Are Dead. On here, the drumming is not the typical hip-hop boom bap. Instead of it's really thunderous, pounding toms with these kind of off-kilter metal guitar riffs. Not to mention this really weird, interlude about, a minute and a half in, I think, where it's just, a Thundercat bass solo, and then it goes back to the metal shit. Which, I mean, I sort of get it to an extent, because, believe it or not, the way I was introduced to Thundercat first was on a metal album, Suicidal Tendencies 13. So,
really?
Okay.
Yeah, he did the bass on that album.
Alright.
So I guess I'm not surprised that it kind of meshes weirdly well with Brendon Small's immaculate guitar work, but yeah, it is still kind of something you kind of have to get used to.
Yeah, both of these tracks have, if I may be a little snobbish, perfect virtuosity from both Thundercat and Brendon Small. The sound production almost makes it feel more shoegazy than anything else, which I can really dig. I like the I guess you could say the synths in the background accompanying, the bass solo parts and Brendon Small's heavy guitar lines. I love those bass harmonic licks that Thundercat pulled into those songs too. It's just my kind of stuff.
Yeah. It's a very good blend of each artist's talents, from Thundercat's bass to the Brendon Small's metal touches, and the more and with Flylo more experimental side and with production. It's this is something that I do see Flylo kind of do, because I do see him as more experimental than just his typical stuff. This is something that I feel he would have done in other projects, but this shit is fucking heavy. It's good.
It's
God damn.
it's really tasty shit. Just like my memes.
Please.
Okay.
Oh, you got something to say, Alex?
You ain't good at memes, boy.
Oh, I'm gonna come to that computer. I'm gonna fight you myself, boy.
Just try it.
I would, but we still have more songs to cover.
And speaking of shit,
Wait. Okay, so, Iggy Azalea, Australian chick, thinks she's black. He's got a new album coming out next month called Digital Distortion. We don't know when. We don't really care. She put out a new song called Switch. It's whatever. It just sounds like every Iggy Azalea song I've ever heard.
yeah, I got nothing to say about this shit. I really didn't care. I didn't listen to this in the first place, but I was like, fuck it, I'll do it. It's like, wow, I don't feel shit.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not even sure why I put this on the list. It's almost like we're just wasting time. Look, man, I needed padding, okay? Plus, it'll make good, clickbait, search engine optimization, and whatnot. You gotta whore yourself out to,
Okay,
the web.
Okay, I get it. So I'm giving that this song ain't shit.
Nope. Much like bitches, this song ain't shit. But hoes and tricks.
And now let's get to what we call a banger, a good song, which
Yes.
I happen to found. So Rob, I guess you heard about. I guess you mentioned that something about Baby Driver a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I got passes to a screening about a month ago, and it was really goddamn good.
I guess you noticed that. Did you know that they got a new song for the movie soundtrack?
They did.
And let's see if those things interest. Let's see if for those out there, those things might interest you. Danger Mouse from the Jewels Big Boi.
I enjoy all three of those.
That's right. And they have a new song for the film called Chase Me. And yes, I'm gonna say like it is a goddamn banger. This shit goes hard. This is definitely something I wish people who worked on the Fast and Furious soundtrack would actually learn from Danger Mouse and Run the Jewels and Big Boi and maybe Edgar Wright.
This is the thing that they should understand. You need RTJ because their albums are basically already action movie soundtracks.
Yes,
it just makes sense,
And this sound is perfect for an action movie. It's like all the verses are fucking great. LP versus Fyre, Kill Mike versus Fyre, Big Boi versus Fyre. But that's from Danger Mouse is damn solid. And I think I like how I think they added some inserts from the movie. From what I can tell, I don't know it's from the movie, but I like how it complemented the song, or vice versa. It fits so damn good with the song, and it's like this I wonder how the soundtrack will be when it comes out, and the movie too, which I hope to see, which is around June. I know it comes out June next month.
Yeah, the last week of June, if I recall correctly.
Yep.
Cool. So we can have a messy start to June, depending on how we all perceive Wonder Woman.
Ew.
But we can end it with a bang with Baby Driver.
Yeah, so, okay, just to complete that tangent for a minute. So, the soundtrack that's actually in the movie, as you're watching it, is mainly a bunch of, old school rock, funk, and soul tunes. And although, as I believe I may have mentioned, there is, a scene where, the characters are all just, driving back to base after a mission. And they really cheekily insert a shot where, when they set the radio station, you can clearly see it says, Run the Jewels. And so I have to rewatch that movie, when it hits theaters, just so I can remember if that's, the song. Because I don't remember what they said the song was. I just remember Run the Jewels, oh shit. Oh shit, motherfuckers.
This is gonna be so good. And speaking of more good shit.
Yes. So, we may have mentioned a while back that Vince Staples was teasing the release of a new album, who knows when. And we finally get to bring it up again after however many episodes ago that was. Because not only do we have a new single titled Big Fish, but we also have the name and release date of that album, Big Fish Theory, due out June 23rd. And, obviously I liked Summertime '06. I thought it was a pretty good rap album. So obviously the expectations were... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. I did recently listen to Summertime '06, and she's pretty good. Pretty good. Actually looking forward to and I listen to more Vince Staple features, and it's not the dude's fucking good.
Yeah. So, okay. So when I hit play on this beat, I was curious about what it would be because I did like the previous single "Bag Back" because I thought it had some pretty cool lyrical touches, and the beat was just a really cool, unique thing. I'll say for this, the beat is kind of underwhelming because I forget who produced it. I know it wasn't DJ Mustard, but it sounds like DJ Mustard.
The name making I barely know who produced this. Maybe I'll look it up or something. I know.
According to the column on the fader, it says Big Fish is produced by Christian Rich.
Okay. I think I ran that name before. I know. I think he made us some his Vince stuff in the past, either that or some of my future shit. I don't know, cause I recognized the name before. Which,
we'll have to verify that during the break.
Yeah, fuck it.
So
but
it's just okay. Juicy J is featured on the chorus, but I don't know. He sounds like he didn't want to do this.
Wait, that was him?
Apparently so. Yeah.
I didn't know that shit. Okay.
And of course, Vince, his, bars, there's some pretty cool stuff in there. It's the usual bravado, look at me, how awesome I am. Although the second verse of it kind of gets a little bit more serious, and even interestingly throws in some lyrical nods to the song North North from Summertime '06. Even, where the skinny carries strong heat, that line. And I even think he shouts out Bag Back, too. So I wonder if this is going to be a thing, a lot of reference and sort of continuity between songs and albums here.
Could be. But my opinion on this song, this is okay. I wouldn't mind listening to it, listen to it if I when I get to the album. It's an okay, good rap song to just, listen to. And then it was that Vince Staples, he still got some solid bars on this.
That is true. Although personally, I think I still prefer Bag Back. But that's just me, though.
Yeah, right.
But we'll have Big Fish Theory to look forward to, whatever he actually means by Big Fish Theory. Fish.
Catfish.
That's a lot of fish. But we gotta move on. So, on to the next song. You know what band actually recently rolled through Florida? West Palm Beach or so? Muse.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if they're still on tour, though. I know they were touring with 30 Seconds to Mars and Paris, or Paris, I think it's pronounced. I don't know. And recently, I think last month, I finally took the time to actually sit down and listen to every single Muse album released so far. And I gotta say, I really don't get this band. I'm gonna get into it, but first I gotta bring up the song they released. I don't know if they have a new album out, but, it's within the realm of possibility. It's been a couple years since Drones came out. And... Oh, did I touch a nerve there?
I didn't like Drones that much.
We'll get to that. But yeah, they have a new song out now called Dig Down. And, okay, this song, it's weird. It's sort of one of those, Muse songs where it tries to be sort of triumphantly symphonic and orchestrate, kinda. But at the same time, main thing you hear throughout the song is just this really monotonous, garbled electronic synth sound. Kind of from The Second Law, that album. And it seems like most of the instruments are, barely there until you get to, the last minute of the song. And to get back to the thing I was trying to insinuate earlier, when I listen to this band's discography, the main thing I took away is that this band never seems like they know what they want to be. Do they want to be seen as, avant-garde Radiohead, pretentious art rock crap? Do they want to be these weird electro dubstep rock electronic things? Do they want to be a more heavy-hitting hard rock band? Like, I don't know, Queens of Stone Age? I don't know. It's like these guys can't make up their minds, and they're not really good at blending all this stuff together. I mean, like, they only really have 5 good songs on the top of my head, with, of course, 2 of them being Assassin and Knights of Sidonia, because that's the only one where the songs seem vaguely coherent in their elements. But this is just like, let's throw a bunch of ideas together. Maybe one of them's got to stick.
Yeah, this song kind of felt like an outtake from the Second Law, which... I liked a couple of tracks off that album. It was all right, but this just feels limp as shit.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about Muse. They don't have to be. Their peak, Glastonbury of 2004, closing off that set with Stockholm Syndrome, their best song. That is some heavy shit right there. That's the Muse I want to see more of. Where they're just being aggressive and loud and in your face, and everyone's into it. And they're spending 5 minutes just tearing everything apart, going crazy. Where the fuck did that Muse go?
I don't freaking know, man, but, the ideal Muse would be Stockholm Syndrome Muse minus Matt Bellamy. Maybe find a vocalist who can actually, provide a solid backbone in the heaviness.
Yeah.
Yeah, but... we're obviously going to have to deal with Muse at some point soon, so. But, let's move on from that, because this next one is a biggie.
Yep.
Not just in terms of its actual length, but in terms of the hype level. Did someone say Death Grips?
When did anything Fantano get here?
Hey, he ain't the only one who's into the trash grips, Because I like Death Grip. Death Grips is a great musical outfit and one of the best things happening in music right now. And so, obviously, they've had something new out every year, which means clearly at this point we were overdue since it's been a year since Bottomless Pit, which, if you don't remember, the year end for 2016 was my 11th favorite album of 2016. So while we're waiting for this new album, they of course dropped a new song/Megamix, the official title of which is Steroids, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Gabber Megamix.
Damn.
So, let's try to go through everything offered by this neat little 22-minute collection of tunes.
God damn.
As succinctly as possible. So, we start off from, I call it part 1, from the beginning to 2 minutes 11 seconds. You have a lot of very blaring, glitched out electronics in the vein of songs like More Than the Fairy or Death Grips 2.0. Very clattering percussive elements with, MC Ride's usual esoteric lyricism, with the only thing you can really make out being, my whole life, my whole fucking life, my whole life, my whole fucking life. Something like that, which, again, it's MC Ride, so you kind of have to, I guess, spend way too much time thinking about it than I have time to do. And, of course, the glitchy shit makes it sound cool as fuck. And then you get to the second part, which is about 2 minutes and 12 seconds to 3:20, which is sort of like a continuation of which, it sort of touches on the same lyrics, even saying, been that way my whole life. So I guess there's some kind of a motif here. It's a much moodier song where the beat is more, it's kind of noisy but sparse at the same time, akin to the Government Plates sound a little bit. So... which, that's a good album. I like that album. Then you get to the third part of which, from 3:21 to 4:55. Then there's this really cool mix where, the beat is, very saturated noise, which kind of switches into this more atmospheric sound with, those... You know how drums sound when you rewind the sound of drums playing?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, it kind of has, that... backing up the beat when it varies between the noise and that, along with this very glitchy sped up static vocals and just a lot of buzzing and squeakiness you hear off in the background somewhere. Similarly, that could be said for the next segment of the song, which is from about 4 minutes 56 to 7 minutes 19 seconds. This beat is, again, synthetic and very buzzing. It's also extremely glitchy with this very skittery kind of drum patterns, but there is kind of a melody through the glitchiness that's very much maintained throughout the entire segment. Again, another really cool part of the song. Feel free to interrupt me at any time if you got something to say. Or, I guess you don't? You're just gonna let me do this?
I'll admit, my knowledge of death grips isn't as vast as others. They've always been, like, on the outskirts of my, I guess you could say, musical realm. Here are all my notes for this 22-minute mix. I think my brain had a continuous orgasm from this.
Hey, boy.
All I got is the shit goes hard. There you go.
Exactly. So, anyway, getting back, because I need to take a bit of a break here. A breather. So we go from part 5, which is like at the 7:20 mark, to 11 minutes 38 seconds. The electronics here are a little bit more bouncy and bubbly a bit, with more rapid sort of synth runs in the melody. Again, akin to the track Death Grips 2.0. And the vocals are a lot more droning, robotic, and industrial. And there's this brief bit where, like, sort of the drums drop out, and it just kind of, like, this atmospheric stretch before it gets back to the, normal rhythm and everything. Sorry. Then we get to part 6, which is from 11 minutes 41 seconds to 13 minutes 58 seconds. This one is more reminiscent of Jenny Death, just in the fact that this is where the more natural instrumentation becomes more prominent, with, the actual guitars and drums that kind of pop in and out at odd intervals. And the actual, like, electronics of the beat, there's this deteriorating sort of bass synth sound, a trap drum beat, and there's this little bit in the mix that I'm pretty sure is sampled from one of the Donkey Kong Country games. I'm pretty sure it's the sound effect of when you hit one of the barrels that contains one of your partners. I am confident of this, and I will bet money on it. I know my video game sound effects. And then we go to part 7, 13 minutes 59 seconds to 16 minutes 13 seconds. There's this brief little transitory bit between parts 6 and 7, which kind of sounds a bit like Shabazz Palace's, kinda, but it's only really like a little, it's kind of like a blink and you'll miss it kind of moment. Then the drums and, guitar, they come in, the drums themselves have this very, like, math rock-esque pattern to them. Friggin' Zach Hill playing in, math rock bands and stuff. That's obviously his motif. And the guitars have this warped distortion, and the whole beat is, of course, punctuated by random-ass police sirens. Then part 8, 16 minutes 14 seconds to 18 minutes 52 seconds. There's kind of this weird, it opens up with this weird atmospheric flute sound. The synth combined with this kind of flute accentation, where it almost sounds like a mix of, like, 1-0 Point Never, like old 1-0 Point Never, and Tim Hecker as well. And then once it gets to, like, a minute later, that's when it goes into a much more harsher digression with, the vocals more pitch shifted down. And there's these cool little synth runs that are throughout the, bit of the song and everything. And then last but not least, the home stretch, part 9, the percussion, once again, it goes back to a more clattering sound. And again, the synth runs are very much akin to, as I said, stuff like Garden of the Lead or Death Grips' own Government Plates album, once again. And then the vocals, again, very crazy, sped up. Again, more akin to, like, More Than the Fairy or Death Grips 2.0. And that was a lot to cover. 22 minutes of music. And if you got 22 minutes to kill, you got to check out this mix. Because as always, it's just, stretching out Death Grips' musical talents to its theoretical possible limits, going all across the spectrum while giving us stuff we haven't heard before and have also probably heard at some point before. It's just good. It's good, and you need to listen to it, and I really want that new album already.
You all right? You need to get some water in you?
Some tea?
Yeah, I need some water. So that covers the song discussion. We're going to take a quick break. Then we're going to come back with the news. I need a drink.
We'll be right back.
And we're back. Unfortunately, we have to start off with an extremely tragic note. Probably one of the more tragic things to happen in the past week or so. There was quite a bit, but this one obviously came as a shock to everyone. Unfortunately, another popular musician has died and has left this mortal plane of existence. In this case, Chris Cornell, founding member and singer for several popular 90s alternative rock bands, including Soundgarden, Temple of the Dog, and from about a decade later, Audioslave. What makes this all the more tragic is the circumstances of his death, having apparently committed suicide by hanging following a performance in Detroit.
Oh, God. This is very tough to talk about.
Yeah, there's been just a flood of just information and people trying to speculate. Even one of the more, I guess, interesting ones would be that apparently Cornell's own family supposedly disputes the idea that he hung himself out of some kind of, I guess, depression-induced thing.
Yeah, there have been claims going from his family that say prescription medication may have been involved, but we won't know until any toxicology reports come out. But I want to mention where I first heard this. I ended up waking up last Thursday morning at 10 to 4 a.m. just for whatever reason. So I pick up my phone, I scroll through my Twitter feed, and I read something from the Associated Press saying Soundgarden frontman Chris Cornell found dead in his hotel room. Like, oh my God, are you kidding me? And then the news just kept coming in later that day. It just kept going. It just got worse, kept going. It got worse. But our rock radio station here in the city actually dedicated, I think, 2 or 3 hours just to playing Chris Cornell's music from Soundgarden, Temple of the Dog, Audioslave, his own solo material, because our rock radio station was very heavy on the whole grunge alternative rock scene from the early 90s, because that's when they started in 1995, when Pearl Jam, Nirvana, and Alice in Chains, and Soundgarden, they were all the big things in rock. So this is kind of a big loss for the rock music scene, just even now.
Yeah, it's just surreal to think, because they were one of the first bands I remember really getting into when I was starting to really get into music in high school. They always, I did have the period where I listened to some grunge stuff, because my older sister was into a lot of 90s alternative rock, so that's sort of where I picked it up from. And Soundgarden were always my favorite, mainly because they were always the best musicians out of the major four, and Chris Cornell in particular. God, the guy just knew how to wail like a madman. Yeah,
they were always the odd one out of the grunge scene. They were more akin to a hard rock and metal band than they were, a grunge band. I've been listening to a lot of Soundgarden recently, especially the Bad Motorfinger album. Jesus Christ, Pose. That shit still hits hard.
Yeah, it's like, I wouldn't even say okay, I mean, they were sort of a hard rock and metal band, but so was Alice in Chains, kinda. But the thing is, Soundgarden, I wouldn't even call them so much hard rock as almost kind of, I almost would say progressive in a sense. They were on a completely different plane from everyone else. It's just, God, we're not gonna have another singer like him again.
No.
So someone protect Eddie Vedder at least until it's his time.
Yes. Let it be many, many years in the future when he's 93 years old in a home somewhere.
Yeah, just shit, man. Shit.
Unfortunately, we have to follow this up with another bad news story. God, it never ends, does it?
Yes, we're following up on a story we mentioned last week. The sexual assault allegations, well, not allegations, just truths, that have been centering around the band Power Bottom, popular up-and-coming indie punk outfit who are seen as extremely popular amongst the LGBTQ community, which is part of why these sexual assault allegations, again, truths, leveled against Ben Hopkins were such a shock. Because obviously a community at, pretty high risk of sexual assault, when it's one of their own that is revealed to be engaging in these activities, that obviously, creates a lot of panic and worry, as it should. And so there's been massive fallout from that. Like, even we mentioned bands pulling from the tours, the bands getting dropped by management and the label. We didn't even mention this last week, but apparently Polyvinyl has removed all of Power Bottom's music from multiple streaming services. This shit goes far.
Damn.
But, another wrinkle in this story, as it appears that the band, or rather Ben Hopkins specifically, has now offered his own, quote, perspective, his statement on the issues at hand, as as other member Liv Bruce, and a joint statement between them as well. So there's 3 statements here. I'm just going to pull from Ben's, because that's obviously the most relevant here. What has transpired over the past several days has been emotionally overwhelming and difficult to comprehend. Okay, let me stop you right there. Are you trying to play the victim here? Really? Like,
of course he is. Come on, you know how this works.
Oh boy.
Last Thursday, I learned that an anonymous individual had made an allegation of sexual assault against me. This allegation was devastating to me, as it is contrary to the intentional way I seek to interact with those around me. Sure it does. As I digested the allegations, I tried to figure out who the individual might be so that I could try to reconcile what I had read with my memory of any particular sexual interaction. Again, this guy's trying to play coy. What the hell? I've waited to respond to the Decibel article because the statements made about me by the anonymous source did not line up with any sexual experience I have ever had. So basically, in the words of Bill Clinton, you did not have sexual relations with this woman. Just don't look under the desk. There's totally nothing to see there.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
What's the white showing your pants?
Blowjob.
Over the past several days, I was able to figure out who the individual was based on what I was reading and my subsequent conversations with Liv. I am not going to breach the anonymity, but given the serious nature of what was published and its impact, I have to unpack the claims and provide perspective on details within. We met the night before a show in March of 2016 and spent most of the day together. After the show, she invited me to her house and we eventually engaged in sex. Based on the nature of our communications and our interactions with one another, I understood our interactions to be fully consensual. We stayed in touch over the course of several weeks by exchanging text and pictures. Later, she asked if I could stay with me in my home, where we had sex several more times over the course of those days. Again, I understood these interactions to be fully consensual. Now, okay, that's very suspicious wording on that part. I understood these interactions. That you realize that leaves a lot of room open for doubt. What if your understanding is wrong? What if you're kind of dumb when it comes to understanding what consent is?
Not to mention, white guy accused of rape, trying to play the victim. I think we know how this goes.
Yeah, he gets a slap on the wrist and becomes the president.
Oh, that was not good.
Yeah, I'm not going to read the rest of the statement. This is just infuriating. Like, he can't own up. Okay, if there was no issue here, then why did your label drop you? Why did you drop from tours, the managers? Why did all this happen then, huh? If you're so confident you're innocent. I just have nothing else to add at this point. Fuck him.
Yep, with a rusty knife.
Yeah, I'll probably link the full statement down below so y'all can read it, but, this is all just, just the usual PR spin bullshit. But anyway, let's move on to the other two stories where we can actually have a little bit of fun.
Yeah, we need it.
So, last week, Tuesday to be precise, the official full announcement was made for this year's edition of the 3 Points Festival, taking place from October 13th to October 15th in the Wynwood neighborhood of downtown Miami. My neck of the woods, and as soon as the ticket sales went up and the lineup was announced, I made sure to sign up for the layaway plan for 3-day tickets, because there's no way I'm missing this year. I mean, the Gorillas alone ensured that I had to go, so I needed to secure my place by any means necessary. But now we have the full poster lineup, and here is the lineup as we understand it. Okay, so starting from the top, our top billed acts include the XX, Gorillaz, as we mentioned, Nicholas Jar, Richie Houghton, The Ship, and an audio installation by Brian Eno, who I'm told is like god tier amongst electronic artists. Other acts, there's Bonobo live, Kaytranada, Skepta, Arca and Jesse Conda, Danny Brown. Woo! So that means I get to see him live, and he'll probably be performing Submission with Gorillaz. Oh shit! It's fucking Lil B Bass God. Oh shit! Swag to maximum. Swag times 1,000.
Yeah.
You can fuck my bitch anytime, Bass God. Let's see what the other acts are here. Thundercat.
All right.
The Black Madonna.
Who the fuck is that?
I don't know. Madlib.
Alright.
Bad, Not Good.
Ooh.
So basically, so far, half of this is like Mark's Best of the Year list. Kali Uchis, which means that one other song from Humans will likely be performed. Willow Smith.
Yes.
Okay.
That ever so popular virtuosic auteur who gave us such classics such as I whip my hair back and forth, I whip my hair back and forth, I whip my hair back. Who the fuck thought that was a good idea?
I don't know, but
She got it from her daddy. Who you think? She got it from her daddy.
probably the same person who thinks it's a good idea to let Jaden Smith have a Twitter. Let's see. Let's just look at some of the other acts here. Okay, so John Talbot, Danny Days, Daniel Avery, 100 Waters, Abra, Jacques Green, Tech Life featuring DJ Spin, and DJ Earl.
Oh.
What else? Jacuzzi Boys, and the rest of it is a bunch of stuff I never heard of, but usually these artists tend to be like underground and sort of based in the Miami area, so it stands to reason, those are probably local acts. Now, you might be arguing that for this kind of festival, it's a lot to pay. Like, okay, the price that I'm going to end up paying thanks to the layaway thing is like $200, even though the normal tickets are like $175, which, I kind of get it, but, still. On the other hand, Gorillaz, Danny Brown, Thundercat, Madlib, Lil B the Bass God. I'm kind of happy for some of these artists.
Really? Never would have guessed.
Plus, it'll be a good chance to discover some new stuff I'm not familiar with. I'll have plenty of time to bone up on shit before then. But, this will probably be a pretty fun festival. Although, given that this conflicts with, I think it's Austin City Limits, I kind of have to wonder how Gorillaz is going to manage both at the same time. Who knows?
Travel.
That is a possibility. I'm sure time travel exists in the Gorillaz universe. I mean, robots and weird ghosts exist, so, Now, let's move on to our last story this week. Once again, following up on a story from the past. And, this one will actually be a little bit more entertaining.
It make us laugh. Maybe. I don't know.
So how about that Fyre Festival?
The dumpster fire of the year.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
It's Christmas.
Okay, so last we picked off, there was still quite a bit of the aftermath to deal with, including facing no less than at least 7 class action lawsuits. And now, things have gotten so crazy that even the FBI is now involved. According to the New York Times, the FBI has launched an investigation into, quote, possible mail, wire, and securities fraud. A federal prosecutor from the Complex Frauds and Cybercrime Unit has been assigned to the case. Now, oh man, so, okay, first off, this isn't related to the FBI investigation, but we didn't even mention this. There was, an audio recording that got leaked at one point of Billy McFarland basically saying, yeah, all the executives working on this, they're not getting paid. So So let's just add that to the fire. Let's just add that to the fucking shitstorm here. Second, dude, the FBI, like, you know you fucked up bad when the FBI is fucking trailing your ass here.
Just ask our asshole president.
Yeah. So if the FBI is involved, y'all know these people better start talking. Comey.
Yeah, what do you know, Comey? Can you tell us about the Blink-182 dropping? Oh, and get this. Even though Blink-182 dropped, apparently at the very last minute, as we said before, apparently their music equipment is still stuck in, quote, customs limbo.
Oh.
So it's...
But they ain't getting this shit back.
Clearly, looks like they're going to have to spend their own money on, I guess, new instrumentation. Or they could probably, file another class action lawsuit against Billy McFarland for a hefty sum of money and their equipment back. Oh, another interesting tidbit added here. So, apparently, they got help while the crew was, trying to, air quotes, set up the festival. They had been fed themselves by a local caterer and apparently racked up a bill of $134,000, which they have yet to pay the poor woman.
Sweet, so they got fed some good food while the people at the Fyre Festival got fed a bum ass cheese sandwich and some shit salad.
Yeah.
They ate good. Like, this shit goes deeper than expected. What the hell?
Well, it could be worse. They could be eating well-done steak with ketchup.
Oh.
I mean, but come on. Who would eat it like that? I mean, seriously. You have to be a stupid idiot to eat steak like that. Hint, hint.
By the way, totally unrelated. Hi, Tyler.
Oh damn.
No, he doesn't eat steak. We've established that.
Oh, God, that's even worse. Got in my obligatory Tyler diss for this week.
Yeah,
there,
especially what they did for you. Especially what they did to you last time on their show.
Ah, yes, the 1-year training stage anniversary. Oh, why don't we go to, a fucking Vegas buffet next to a Taco Bell? That'll get Rob to shut up. Hey, for the record, I can work with anything. I just don't like shitty-ass Applebee's chicken wings, okay? But yeah, getting back on topic, this whole Fyre Festival shit, how does this keep getting better? This is amazing.
Because people are stupid.
And, oh my god, if this is what it's like now, I cannot wait for Fyre Festival 2018.
Which I still say, those 81% of you said that you want to do it again the next year. I'll say it again. Y'all some dumb motherfuckers. You really are.
Yeah. And if y'all think this is really going to happen, you're even stupider.
You people already went through all this shit, and you decide, you're gonna go again? You know what? You deserve your whole wheat bread cheese sandwiches. Meanwhile, I'll sit here with, my naked chicken chips, $5 box from Taco Bell, enjoying myself. Enjoying real food.
Now I'm hungry for Taco Bell. I gotta go get that before I head to work.
As you should, because Taco Bell is great.
Joey.
We got to diss Tyler and Joey.
We like food here.
Yes, we do. But, so I'm really looking forward to what the FBI turns up on this, because it's going to be some glorious shit.
We're going to be there to talk all about it, because this is just too good to ignore.
This our blood, or I don't know. It's good shit with falling. There you go.
This is what drives us in the morning to get up.
This is the greatest Decibel Boost saga since Billy Corgan.
Yeah.
This is like cocaine.
It's like Pringles. Once you pop, you can't stop.
And so, that basically covers the news for this week. Now, we got some album releases for this week, May 26, 2017. But there isn't much of note. Most of it is just, shit kind of who cares. So, we only really have 3 of note here. So, starting from the top. we have the newest album from pirate meddlers Ailstorm titled No Grave But the Sea. I'm willing to bet that's a concept album about the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. The grave here refers to Johnny Depp's credibility as he continues to star in more.
Yep.
Then we have the return of Mrs. Hips Don't Lie herself, Shakira, with a new album titled El Dorado. Seriously, where the hell has she been? It feels like last I heard she was in Zootopia, but even then I was like, where the fuck was she for so long?
Oh, yeah, I think she was that. What's that? That fucking the giraffe. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. She's a fucking singer. She's a singer that sang song with a bunch of Magic Mike Tigers. I don't know.
And last, and probably least, Teenage Emotions, the official debut studio album from the Boat himself, Lil Yachty.
Yeah! Oh, damn.
Oof.
Yeah, boy.
Ooh.
So that will basically about do it for this week. So as always, this is where we sign out. Alex, where can they find you on the internets?
Well, I'm sure they all know, but if you're listening for the first time, here you go. Aura of Azure, Azure on Twitter and Instagram, Azure_Aura on Twitch, Azure Plays Games on YouTube, and other places you can find while just looking up my name and me sharing them around. That's all.
Mark, what about you?
As usual, I'm on Twitter at Matt2HybridMedia. You can find me on my site at Mount1 at thehybrid1.wordpress.com. And yes, I made a post about Samurai Jack Season 5.
That's right, it ended.
Yep.
So anyway, as for me, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at RobBarracuda. You can also email me, Robert at SurrealResolution.com. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes and Google Play. Audio-only episodes go up every Wednesday. Video goes up every Friday on my YouTube channel, which you can find by searching Rob Barracuda. While you're there, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell tab so you're always notified whenever new episodes of the podcast go up there. And of course, this is the official music podcast of the website Surreal Resolution, which you can find online at www.surrealresolution.com. Follow on Twitter at SurrealRezo, and find the podcast on its own subdomain, decibelboost.surrealresolution.com. While you're there, listen to the archives of our past episodes. Also, check out our other podcasts. If you're into gaming and memes that are not dank, check out The Training Stage. If you're into movies, check out Salty Flicks. And also be sure to check out a lot of the other great written content. This week, I have a review of Linkin Park's One More Light, which... I hate this album, I fucking hate it, This album is garbage, it fucking sucks, fuck you, Linkin Park. Oh, and you know what, Chester? Fucking bring it, son. You wanna fucking punch me in the mouth? I'll go, bitch.
Oh, man, I can't wait for that.
Seriously, that's how you know your album is bad. If you have to make physical threats against people to defend your, quote, artistic integrity, your album is shit.
Artistic integrity. You're not an artist, and you have no integrity. Boom, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. Anyway, as for our other written content, currently we have weekly write-ups of Attack on Titan and My Hero Academia. The Samurai Jack ones, obviously, since the show has finally ended, I have no more. But you can check out the one I did on, the series finale, which, man, after 15 years, we finally have closure. It's weird to think.
It was
man.
great.
Why couldn't Ashi live?
You know why she couldn't live.
Well, there's an alternate ending in which Rick shows up in the Jack universe, pulls out an Ashi from another universe, and they live happily ever after the end.
But that's not canon, though.
Rick and Morty is canon in every universe, in every dimension.
If you say so, pal. I just want Jack to be with the Ashi, They were made for each other. But, time paradoxes and all.
Yep.
Also JoJo references.
That's you.
Anyway, be sure to jump into the Discord chat if you want to, as always, dank it up with the boys. And last but not least, shout out to producer Mr. E for graciously letting me use his music for this podcast. That'll about do it for this week's episode of Decibel Boost, episode 35. So, until next time, heal!